Decide and execute. Once you have identified a situation and predicted a possible conflict, your next step is to decide. Once you make a decision, the execute step of the IPDE process will follow. Drivers must continually identify and predict until they have enough information to make correct decisions. To execute a decision means that you carry out the action that you have decided to do. In this situation, reducing speed so that the passing car can merge safely is a low-risk driving action. Decide. As you follow your intended path of travel, your decision must be to maintain speed, change direction, or communicate. You might decide to use a combination of these actions. Be prepared to rethink your decisions as zones close and greater hazards are presented. Look at the picture. The driver of the yellow car decided to accelerate to provide space for the passing driver to return to the right lane. What might have happened if the driver of the yellow car had decided not to speed up? Any decision you make will be influenced by the speed of your own vehicle as well as the speed of other vehicles. You can decide to maintain your speed, decelerate, brake, or accelerate. Base your decision about speed control on your evaluation of the situation as well as the possible consequences of your actions. In order to change your position in the roadway, you will steer to the left or the right. A greater change of direction might even be a lane change. You can use an escape path into an open zone to avoid conflict. This area of space all around your vehicle is called a space cushion. 3 different lane positions are available to you within your lane. Lane position 1. The car is centered within the travel lane. This is the safest position under normal driving conditions. In this position, you have the most space around your car. Lane position 2. Car is 3 to 6 inches from the left line of the travel lane. You might decide to use this position when there is a closed right front zone with an open left front zone. Lane position 3. The car is about 3 to 6 inches from the right line of the travel lane. Use this position when there is a closed left front with an open right front zone. There may be times when the situation requires a greater change in direction than the 3 lane positions. You may decide that the best position in some situations is to straddle a lane line. Return to lane position 1 as soon as it is safe to do so. The decision to communicate with other users of the roadway helps reduce the possibility of conflict. You can decide to communicate with others by using lights, horns, vehicle position, eye contact, and body movement. After deciding the best method of communicating, you will execute that action to inform others of your decision. This driver decided to use body movement by waving the driver on the left through the intersection first. The safest position in traffic is where the fewest vehicles surround you. Continually analyze your left, front, and right zones and make decisions to adjust your speed or direction if one of your zones begins to close. Use the following techniques to manage time, space, and distance in order to maintain your safe path of travel. You always want to minimize a hazard or reduce the possibility of conflict by deciding to put more distance between yourself and the hazard. In this traffic scene, the yellow car is approaching the parked cars on the right. What might the driver of the yellow car predict, decide, and execute to minimize a hazard? There will be times when you face more than one hazard at a time. When this occurs, do not try to handle both or all hazards at once. Instead, decide to adjust your speed to let them separate so you can deal with only one hazard at a time. The driver in this traffic scene sees an approaching truck. Both are headed for the same one-lane bridge and meet on the bridge at the same time. To avoid trouble, what might the driver do to separate hazards? Sometimes hazards cannot be minimized or separated. When this occurs, you must decide to compromise space by giving as much space as possible to the greater hazard. The driver of the yellow car is compromising space to give space to the greater hazard, which is the truck.